What is up, Buckeye Nation? It is Hate Week. Please represent, comment below where you watching the game from this week, because you know you're going to be watching the game this week. I don't care if you got work, you got school, you got whatever. I don't your in-laws, family left over from Thanksgiving. You know you're watching the game. You're giving an excuse. Nobody's missing this game. 11-0 versus 11-0. 2 versus 3. Ohio State, the team up north in Columbus, Saturday noon. Sugar Ray, Shane Larson, the game time guru, the Boise Buckeye himself, is with me tonight. Ohio State football is going great right here on YouTube, talking injury rumors and what's going on with the game right now. Shane, how you doing, brother?
Good, man. And in lieu of the hate week, I just wanted to make it known that I hate Cory. And I'm excited to do this show with you, man. So let's get it. We got to get into this. Cory, the best part about this, though, don't we have a giveaway we gotta announce right now?
We do have a giveaway, guys. We've been promising a giveaway once we hit 5,000 subscribers. We appreciate y'all. You got us to that mark. But wait a minute. We said one winner. Now there's 2 winners. Shane, tell me about the 2 winners, man.
Yo. Okay. Yeah. So, guys, excited for this week. And this is even more exciting. We're going to start it off with this. First and foremost, if you go to Johnny's video from last week, not the latest video, but the video from last week, he told you guys about the rules. And that was, hey, share an experience, like your favorite, Buckeye experience here and about the game. And here's one of them. One of our winners is called the Strong Seminarian. And we've already reached out to him. You'll see it here on the screen. But Strong Seminarian said, 1998, one of the games John Cooper actually won. Ohio State won, and the field was being changed after that year. A stranger had ripped out a piece of the Block O and gave it to me, a 12-year-old kid at the time, while I was going back to the car with my dad. So that was one of his biggest experiences there, like a cool experience. Strong Seminarian, we're going to be reaching out to you as soon as you get us your email address, and you'll be getting the winning mug and hoodie from us. Who was the other one, though, Cory? There was a pretty cool winner number 2, if you will.
I wanted to read this one because I identify with it very much right now. I'm not going to promise I won't get emotional reading it, but Rich S., you'll see it up on the screen here. Best moment for me was in 2004, going to the game with my dad. It was our only time seeing the game live and in person. It was just special, man. He passed earlier this year, and I don't know how I'm going to handle it this year. Rich, God knows I identify with you 100% on that, and I can't tell you it's going to be easy. It's not easy. Last year, September 6, 2021 is when my dad passed, and we Buckeye football was our thing. We connected on Buckeye football more than anything, and it was. I'm glad he wasn't alive to see what we did last year in Ann Arbor, but obviously, there's not a day that goes by that I wish he wasn't here, that I wish he was here. That I don't wish he would. I don't know. I can't even speak on it, to be honest with you, but you get what I'm saying. Rich, it doesn't get it. It gets easier over time, brother, but it never gets easy, if that makes sense. It sucks. It's awful, especially when you share that special bond with your father. And like last year, I lost my best friend, my brother, my father, and my business partner everywhere, and all rolled up into one. And I went through a heck of a time. I just pray, Rich, that you're doing okay. And please, 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 please reach out to people in your support system to talk to if it is bothering you. I promise you that is the best call you can make. I can tell you from experience, it's tough. But I really am glad that we are going to add you to this winning list, and you deserve it. And hoodie and mug coming your way. Thank you for watching, both of you guys.
Absolutely. Super cool. We're excited to, we said before, 5K giveaway. We appreciate all the support from everybody who's tuned in and supported us. Just continue to show that support if you could. Share this with another Buckeye fan across the globe and let them know about the channel, as we will be, providing you guys with the content. Now, we want to get into the injury report and give a little bit of, analysis on how we think it affects the game coming up this weekend. We're going to start with the running back depth, the running back room. It seems to be the topic every single week, but running backs, who is available and who's not, right? But we got some good news to go along with some of this, right? So let's talk about that, Cory. Let's first start with Miyan Williams and Henderson. What is going on with these two who started out as our, dual threat running back core, and now we never know. It's like, Russian roulette with who's going to be starting the next week or who's going to be even getting reps and who's going to stay healthy when they do get the reps. What with these two guys, are we expecting to see them play this weekend?
You know what? I'm going to make a prediction here. I think Williams plays and Henderson doesn't. And I think Henderson primarily doesn't because of the emergence of Dallan Hayden. I think we can really do some damage in the run game with a Williams-Hayden combination. And I will say this for Henderson. I love Henderson. I think he's a great kid, awesome talent. He's a Buckeye through and through, and I love him. But I don't know if we use him quite right. Sometimes I wonder. I mean, Zach Smith's been saying it forever. Use him in space. You saw what happened on. It wasn't really a screen pass. It was more of a delayed. But he got out in the open and nobody could stop him one-on-one. He just made people look silly in the open space, and he got a touchdown on a touchdown pass. So I'd like to see him more of those underneath routes, more wheel routes out of the backfield of whatever when he does come back healthy. I mean, but we try to use him as traditional power back, and that's just not what he is. And Williams is that, and Hayden also is a slasher back a little bit. And I love Henderson, but he just doesn't see the hole quite as well as you'd like him to. He doesn't have the instincts you'd quite like him to have, but he's uber talented, awesome kid. You want to see him progress and get better. It's ironic because he's probably the most talented guy Tony Alford's recruited here at Ohio State, but he's the only guy Tony hasn't quite gotten to that level yet because Tony's a coach. That guy's a coach's coach. Look at Hayden coming in, a quarter and a half into the Maryland game, getting 150 yards rushing or whatever, and 3 touchdowns. I mean, the kid can play. And Miyan Williams, a guy nobody wanted. Ohio State fans didn't want Miyan Williams when we took him because we thought we were getting Bijan Robinson. Miyan Williams is excellent. Look what Miyan Williams has become. He's the fan favorite now. He's a great player. And Henderson's still a fan favorite too, but at the same time, we all recognize that there's some progress that needs to be made there. So I definitely think you have a Williams-Hayden combination. And Shane, how Evan Pryor injury, how large is that looming for us right now?
Man, the depth is it's tough, man. But here's the deal. We need him for the next couple of games. What I've seen with not Henderson, but Hayden is that he is durable so far, knock on wood. The issue is not with their talent necessarily. It's with their durability. They've taken some shots this year and had some injuries that are lingering. It's their durability that's the problem. I mean, Johnny brought it up. It's like they're made of glass in that running back room, but Hayden seems to be durable, so it's going okay. But right now we probably wish we were 4 or 5 guys truly deep in that running back class because, yeah, like you said, I mean, that injury is now, whereas before we're like, that's not a problem at all. We got 3 running backs, 2 at least, that are studs. Now we're starting to see the importance in depth, which also speaks to the physicality in the Big Ten, in my opinion. Just kind of the natural consistency of it. It's not always the top talents of the college football landscape, but they are some physical teams regardless of who you're playing. So, yeah. Here's the thing, though, I wanted to touch base on with Hayden, though. I think him coming in there, we're in good hands. I think Buckeye fans should be excited regardless of what happens. We shouldn't be so nervous now regarding Williams, Henderson. Now we know that Hayden can get the job done. He's excited for the moment. He's not too scared for the moment. Yes, he's young, but that's what happens when you recruit good talent. They're built differently a little bit than the majority of athletes around the country. Hayden should be able to come in and get the job done if he's going to get at least half the carries or touches, if you will, in this game. And I expect with this being a bad weather game, which it looks like it could possibly be, we're probably going to rely a little bit heavier on that run game. We're going to need somebody with a little bit of vision. So I would expect Hayden and Williams, like you said.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm confident in a Hayden Williams combination. I mean, it'll be probably like 80-20. Williams will get most of the carries because that's who they're going to trust in this game, and I get that. Plus, he probably knows the coverages. Not coverages, but he knows the blocking scheme. He knows, he knows the playbook probably better than Hayden. And that's not a knock on Hayden. Hayden's only been there a year. Hayden's got a bright future. We love the kid, and we interviewed him here. Shane, you did right here on Scarlet and Great.
Awesome, young man.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's move on to is JSN going to be back for this game, Shane?
Ooh, man, it's the topic every week. Everyone's got their own opinions, telling them to, just hang him up.
Even Ryan Day is getting questionable. He's like, we hope he comes back.
Yeah, it's always we would like him to, but there's no for sure's. It did appear, though, Cory, that last week, if you read some of the reports, that like after that Iowa game, he was getting treatment. He was trying to return last week. So it sounds like he's at least trying to get better from the sources that we read upon. It's not like he's trying to hang him up. It sounds like he's actually trying to get better so he can go out there and compete with his guys. As far as the truthfulness of that, I don't know. If any week were to be the week that we saw JSN back, it would be now because At this point, for Buckeye fans and for the entire program, you've got to win, 4 more games if you want to be a national champion. So you got to go 4-0. So can you strap them up and go? You know what I mean? We'll see what happens. Because at this point, this is the end of the season. This is the next season. It's a season in and of itself.
This
You
is
got
a
to go
playoff
4-0
right now. Yep.
You've got to go 4-0 in the next 4 games. So
100%.
we'll see what happens.
It's interesting. Let me ask you, Shane. You understand receivers, especially you're a Blitnikoff voter, and you've been pretty. Over the years I've known you. You've been pretty good on calling which receivers are good and which receivers aren't in the pros. I remember you breaking down Oklahoma LSU back in 2019 and talking about Oklahoma didn't have a chance, but CeeDee Lamb's a player. And CeeDee Lamb obviously is an elite receiver in the pros right now. I mean, maybe people say, well, duh, but Shane's been doing this for years. I mean, he's constantly been good on this. Let me ask you, what does it do to the team chemistry that we built over the time without playing JSN if JSN suddenly inserts himself back? Does that mess with CJ Stroud? Like, okay, there's my security blanket. I'm going to keep staring. I'm going to try to get him in the game and maybe stare at him a little extra hard, or maybe not read off the safety like I should, and just start forcing the ball a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely believe it does. It's the unfortunate reality of injuries, right? It throws off the timing and rhythm of your receivers. There's a big difference between being the number 1 option and then being the 2 guy, right? Being an X receiver, Y receiver, like Z receiver, like all these different options. If you're in the slot or on the outside, it's a big difference with timing and rhythm. And that's why I kept saying earlier in the season that I felt like if he were going to come back, the Iowa game was like perfect. It was perfect timing at that particular point in the season. If he could get his rhythm back to be at this point now for Michigan. Well, with the emergence of Marvin Harrison Jr. and him doing his thing, and as we know, all the receivers have actually started to come to, if you will, but Marvin Harrison has really emerged as one of the top receivers in college football. In fact, as a Blitnikoff Award voter, I just voted for the semifinalists, and he was in the top 3 as far as one of the options there, right? So, which I don't think is a surprise for a lot of people that have been actually paying attention. But anyway, he's emerged to being one of the top receivers in college football as of the last couple.
Went over 1,000 yards for the season quietly last week.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. And exactly. You said it quietly. That's what it is. It's quiet. I do think it would mess him up. I don't want to say that. You obviously want one of your best players on the field. But at this point, it's so hard with it. You don't want to have any hiccups when you're playing a game like this with this type of ramification. Win and you're basically in for the mainly. You don't want any hiccups. And that's what I get worried about, because it seems like CJ, for the most part, has figured out his receivers and they're being a little bit more comfortable. So it's a struggle for me to say, yeah, let's get him back. I'm not one of those guys like, yeah, we need him back for this week, because that does worry me. I think timing and rhythm is huge.
Yeah. And I think if he did come back, he can't be the number 1 option at this point. You got to put him in that slot receiver again and let him play the role he did last year. If it's even possible at this point. I don't know. I mean, I'm not an offensive coordinator. I don't know how to put together a game plan week by week and how it would just completely adjust everything you do. So moving on to the other side of the ball, Tommy E is apparently got fractures in both his hands from what I've read. Now, I don't know 100% how true that is or how bad it is. I know he's been dealing with injuries in his hands. He's still playing great. He's still Tommy E. He's still our best linebacker. He's still our leading tackler by a mile, if you look at the stats. Steel Chambers is behind him, I think, by around 30 tackles or so. Yeah, he's done a phenomenal job this year. Plus, he's got 12 tackles for loss on the year. That's ridiculous, So, yeah, we all saw that coming. Anyway, I mean, look, this is a physical football game. You say what you want. I don't care. If you are overconfident about beating this Michigan team, shame on you, because this is a good team, and they're a very physical run-first football team. Tommy E is going to need to be on his game for this game. We can agree on that, obviously. How bad is? I mean, look, you're trying to shed blocks with your hands, man, and you got sharp pains in your hands. I mean, against a really good offensive line, a good run blocking scheme in Michigan. How worried are you about it, Shane?
Well, when we were talking about it earlier before we started recording, that was the one thing I told you prior. I was like, I'm a tad worried about this game. I'm not trying to be a pessimist or anything. I have a little bit more respect for the team up north than I think a lot of Buckeye Nation does. Yeah, they have shown that they lay an egg just like Ohio State's laid an egg, and just like every team in the country can lay an egg at any moment, right? Mm-hmm. It's not easy to go undefeated in any sport at any capacity. So every team has their ups and downs, obviously, but Michigan is good, and they're very good at the run game. They really are. Like, they're physical up front. We knew that from last year. They're physical up front. In the trenches, they get moving. And so with the exact reasons that you said, his hands are hurting. you mentioned to me, Cory, that if the linebackers are coming downfield, we should be okay. Like, we're going to attack them differently than we did last year, which I fully agree. I think our defense is well equipped this year. We know what it was like to get smacked in the mouth last year. I think they have a bad taste in their mouth. That's fine. But now your leading tackler has his hands all busted up. That does play a factor, man. That does play a factor for those exact reasons. I don't think it's going to keep him out. He's going to still go out there and make an impact because he's an impact type of player. But that's the type of injury that really can hinder you if you're not able to get off of a block or you're not able to wrap up properly. Because with these types of guys who run physically and they hit hard, you have to make a tackle at the first option. You can't let them get into the second level. So you have to make your first tackle or else they're going to go 7 yards a pop like they did last year. So it does concern me a tad, but dude, Tommy's been absolutely balling, and I'm not going to sit here and and say he's going to drop off or anything. But here's what I'm also worried about, Cory. We'll see how he does this week. But if that injury continues to persist, like he's got 4 games he's got to deal with this now. And I think he's got the mindset for that, but that's a little concerning for me. What about you, man? What are your thoughts?
Bunch of cortisone shots coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Look, I love Tommy. He's a warrior. I think what he's doing, if anything, he's been a great player this year, but he's proving what a warrior he is. Because that's not easy to play with. I mean, it's hard enough with your if knee and ankle injuries and things like that, hamstring injuries. But if it's in your hands where you got to tackle these big, strong dudes that are squatting 600 pounds and crap, and taking on these offensive linemen who are ridiculously strong. I mean, it's incredible that he's been able to do it and still play at a high level for us. He's not hurting the team. I mean, there's times when there's an injury, it's like, dude, I love you, but you're hurting the team by being out there.
Yeah,
Tommy, he's not hurting the team. You want him out there. He's a captain. He's a leader on the team. I trust that he's going to get the job done. Until he proves me otherwise, I'm going to have faith in Tommy because he gave me reason to believe all year. I'm not going to bail on him now. So, but speaking of Michigan run game, dude, is Blake Corum playing?
Man, Cory, that's a big one. But I don't want to hear.
I'll give Michigan Ohio State fans who hate Michigan. Blake Corum's a player, whether you like it or not.
He's a dog, dude. He's an absolute dog.
I wanted Ohio State to take him when we were recruiting. I was like, please take it. He's a good. He looks great in high school. Take him.
He's a stud. And for those who don't want to watch their film because we just want to critique everything from them, I enjoy actually seeing him run. I like the way he runs the ball. He's a solid player. Now, here's the deal. We were talking about, is he out? Is he not out? It sounds like as of just from about an hour before we started recording this show, they're planning on as if he's going to be in there. So we're going to prepare.
Either way, it's smart.
Prepare as if he's playing.
Nope. Do not prepare like he's out. I mean, unless you know he tore his ACL. I'm not wanting that for anybody who's watching the video. Not ever. I don't ever. None of us. I can speak for Shane too. We don't we don't want anybody getting injured. That's a fact.
Right.
I don't care what team it is. I actually hate the fact that Corum's even injured right now. You want them at full strength. You want to play the best to beat the best, and they're the reigning Big Ten champs right now. And Blake Corum is an absolute Heisman type candidate. He's a great player. So the fact that he at least hyperextended his knee, I don't know how much the damage is beyond that. Again, I'm glad it's not torn. It doesn't sound like, but again, it could cost him this week. But I agree with Ryan Day and Jim Knowles. Prepare as if he's going to play. I don't care what the Michigan offensive linemen say. I don't care what any of them say. They could be playing possum. They could be playing head games. I don't care. Don't even listen to them until you see availability. And that availability report won't come out till 9 a.m. Saturday.
Yeah, they're not letting anything be known.
No, and they shouldn't. That's gamesmanship. I'm totally on board with it. So, but I mean, Blake Corum, I'm going to go ahead and predict that he's gonna suit up, but not necessarily play. The Jacques Charbonnet, like he did against Wisconsin, where he went in for 2 plays, and Kyle Lamb got torn apart. People thinking he was lying about him being hurt. Turned out he played 2 plays, and that was it. And he actually was hurt. I think Corum's going to suit up, but I don't think he's going to play much.
Well, I don't want to hear Michigan fans complaining either, though, because, while we want them at full strength, we just talked about our running back depth. Give us a break, dude. We've been playing, ring around the rosy, Russian roulette with our running backs. Nobody's at full strength at this point in the season in the Big Ten. I'll just say that. But I, too, would love to see him be there and be able to compete. I'd love to see him fully healthy. Obviously, that's probably not the case at this point, though.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I feel the same way. So this is not really do with the game, but this is more, we're indirectly putting it with the game. Hendon Hooker got hurt. He tore his ACL. He was the main competitor for a minute for CJ Stroud's Heisman. Blake Corum also is jumping up those votes. Now, we'll see. Now, Corum doesn't play, and if Ohio State goes on to win, and I guess you can say it's CJ's to CJ's Heisman to lose at that point. But with Hendon Hooker out for the year, he's not going to win it. And I hate that he's out. I hate that he's hurt. He's a phenomenal player. He's had a great year, and I hope NFL teams are taking a serious look at him. He's a great player. Blake Corum, again, also don't want him hurt. But this, can you agree with me, Shane? I was thinking about this. Is like, this is CJ's opportunity. He has to win this game and go win the Big Ten title. If he does those two things with those two guys, the two main competitors for the Heisman kind of out, can we honestly say it's CJ's to lose at that point?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. This is his moment right here. This is a big game. He knows it too. And I don't even know if he has to win Big Ten title to prove that, to be quite frank. I mean, obviously we hope he does. That's the thing. I don't know if he has to necessarily play extremely well in the Big Ten title.
Because I don't think he's had like a monster year. He's been good, not necessarily dominant. I wouldn't say at times. He's had great games, but I never felt like, oh man, this is CJ just won't let him lose today. Holy smokes! Yeah. The offense has only been a little bit discombobulated this year, if anything. At times, it's still a great offense. I'm not like tearing it apart, but there's been times where we're like, the offense is not quite functioning with all with all gears playing, or gears going. But that being said, he still put up good enough numbers where he wins the next 2 games. He has the accolades. He beat the team up north. He wins the Big Ten title. I just, with nobody else there that's running and that's really challenging, I just can't see who they give it to.
Yeah, it's CJ's to lose right now. He needs to go and take it though. For all of our sakes.
That's good. You just summed up everything I said like in 2 sentences. Yeah.
No, but it's true. Like, just go and take it. And this is, I mean, like you said, the guys, right? But durability is a big piece in sports, right? And those guys unfortunately took some unfortunate injuries, and that you never want to wish that upon people. CJ's been blessed to be able to stay somewhat durable so far, knock on wood, and hopefully he goes and takes it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and knock on that wood, because I'm not even risking that with CJ right now. I'm not anti Kyle McCord, but we do not need CJ going down in this game.
No, not at all.
So anyway, guys, appreciate you again. Those two winners we talked about, Strong Seminarian and the Rich S. Please give us your emails. I think you've already got in contact with Johnny. We will send those prizes out to you. We appreciate you and your stories. I can't wait till we do the next giveaway. I think it's a fun thing to do. I love engaging with the fans. Guys, comment below. I know it's early. We got another video coming. We do. But I want to see Shane says he's nervous about this game. How do you feel about this game? Let us know in the comments section. How are you feeling? I'm going to let you know how I feel right now. I'm confident we're going to win. That being said, I am not underestimating the fact that Michigan is a very good football team. And I'm not. And they come in. They're tough and they're physical, and they're going to come with a chip on their shoulder because they want to win. They want revenge for the last 20 years, obviously. And they're not going to rest on their laurels from last year. But I still think we're going to win, and I think we're going to win by 7 to 10 points. So I think that's how it's going to go down. It's Columbus. I'm a little bit worried about the rain, but we'll see.
Totally.
So anyway, Shane, why don't you send us away? Send us out, buddy.
Appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, make sure to share this with your Buckeye fans out there. We appreciate Buckeye Nation. And like always, God bless and go Bucks.